A quiet moment to return to God. Before we begin our prayer, take a moment to remember that this is more than just another video. This is an opportunity to slow down, quiet your mind, and come into the presence of God. Let us open our hearts and meet with Him together. Have you ever reached the end of a day and suddenly realized how little time you spent with God? Not because you stopped believing. Not because you turned away from Him. Life simply became busy. One responsibility led to another. Your morning became afternoon, afternoon became evening, and somewhere along the way, your heart slowly drifted. It usually doesn't happen all at once. You don't wake up and decide to move away from God. Instead, it happens quietly, one distraction at a time, one busy moment after another, until you finally realize that the closeness you once felt doesn't seem as strong as it did before. Maybe you've experienced that feeling. And perhaps you don't talk about it because it isn't a dramatic faith crisis. There was no great moment of rebellion. You simply became distracted by everyday life. But that quiet distance matters. God doesn't want only a few minutes of our attention in the morning before we spend the rest of the day living as though we are on our own. He desires our whole heart, our thoughts, our choices, our conversations, our work, our relationships, our worries, and even the ordinary moments we sometimes overlook. Romans 12 verse 1 reminds us to offer our lives to God as a living sacrifice. That means our relationship with Him isn't limited to moments that feel spiritual. It belongs in every part of our day. In the workplace. On the journey home. During difficult conversations. When we're under pressure. When we're celebrating. When we're alone. And even in the quiet, ordinary moments when nothing seems important. God wants to be present in all of it. And if we're honest, we don't always live that way. There are days when we become distracted. Days when we rely more on ourselves than on God. Days when our worries become louder than our faith. But the good news is that we can always return. We can pause. We can surrender. We can invite God back into the center of our hearts. Proverbs 4 verse 23 says, *** above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. ***. Think about those words, *** above all else, guard your heart. ***.